Now, speaking of people smugly lecturing AOC and falling flat on their face, here is the eyeliner boy himself, or as the I've Had It ladies call him, the smoky-eyed sociopath, the failed drag queen himself, JD Vance. Trump allowed him to stay out past his curfew and, went on some Fox News show here. And he is going to take aim at AOC because she went to this Munich conference and she laid out her foreign policy vision. Now, understand something. Do I have criticisms of AOC? I do. I feel like her speech was maybe a little too liberal interventionist. I also feel like she wasn't all that confident. She seemed like she was trying to go with lines that she memorized as opposed to like speaking from the heart about what her philosophy actually is. So like some of these criticisms are not wrong per se. However, you motherfucker are not the person to make them. You're not JD Vance. You're a mess. You're a hack. You're a freak. So listen to how he tries to go after AOC desperately and fails. Here we go.
Well, I think it's a person who doesn't know what she actually thinks. And I've seen this way too much in Washington with politicians where they are given lines. And when you ask them to go outside the lines they were given, they completely fall apart because, look, does anybody really believe that AOC has very thoughtful ideas about the global world order?
More thoughtful than you, yes.
Or about what the United States should do with our policy in Asia or our policy in Europe. No, this is a person who is mouthing the slogans that somebody else gave her. And it shows
no one gave her one for that one.
I guess not. And it shows how thin the Democrats' policy actually is on all these very, very important questions. Look, that was embarrassing. If I had given that answer, I would say, you know what? Maybe I ought to go read a book about China and Taiwan before I go out on the world stage again. I hope that Congresswoman Cortez has the same humility. I'm skeptical.
First of all, lighten up on the eyeliner. You look ridiculous. It's obvious to everybody. Even people who know nothing about makeup can look at you and see the fucking eyeliner. It's super clear. Second of all, that beard is doing some heavy lifting, but it's failing. You still look like a pudgy doughboy bitch, and you need to understand that, okay? Third of all, motherfucker, you're JD Vance. You used to be an anti-Trump CNN person, okay? Your whole career was like, I'm going to be the guy from hillbilly country who comes out here and tells you that actually Trump is bad and Trump is evil and Trump is wrong, but I'm like the hillbilly whisperer who can talk about how they're noble savages, but these assholes need to get their fucking shit together. This was his whole career was like, I'm going to be the redneck hillbilly guy who shits on other redneck hillbilly people and says like, they just need to work harder and they just need to get their shit together. It was that mixed with Trump is bad, Trump is evil, Trump is wrong. Then you became the ultimate Trump cuck. You decided, oh shit, my grift is wearing thin on the anti-Trump side. Let me go pro-Trump and then hop on the fucking bandwagon, and now you're vice president of the United States. By the way, AOC doesn't know what she actually believes. Motherfucker, there's still a tweet of you, a tweet that you put up in 2023 or 2021 where you talk about, isn't the Epstein Files thing crazy about how, like, this guy was a child trafficker and then people hid it and nobody even ever talked about it again? This is so crazy. And then here you are running cover for the entire Epstein class, all of the parasite billionaires. That's what you're doing. You're running cover for the pedophile, rapist, parasite cabal of billionaire freaks. That's what you're doing, as before you were like, oh, I can't believe that the Democrats are hiding this, and I can't believe that nobody's talking about the Epstein Files. By the way, a criticism from him against anybody else when it comes to foreign policy immediately can be disregarded because this is the guy who pretended like we're the anti-war guys, we're the pro-peace ticket. Remember, JD Vance would post the memes and Trump would post the memes and be the pro-peace ticket, and they're standing there looking legendary and going, oh yes, we're going to usher in an era of peace in America, the golden age of peace, yes. And then meanwhile, soon as they get in there, Trump, total 180, now he just can't stop bombing places. It's like he's addicted to bombing things. He bombed Nigeria, he bombed Somalia, he bombed Yemen, he bombed Iran. He keeps threatening Mexico, keeps threatening Canada, keeps threatening Greenland, keeps threatening Panama. He did a regime change illegally in fucking Venezuela and abducted their leader. So, Mr. I'm pro-peace. Now all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, let's just wage a new war every other week. How about that? We'll have a new war every other week. So I don't want to hear from this guy. I don't want to hear from this guy. I can't take these right-wingers seriously because every single one of them sold out every single principle they claim to have in order to slurp up Trump's ball sweat, okay? And then now you're going to fucking start going after AOC because she stuttered a little bit at some conference? Like, please, spare me. For the love of God, spare me. Nobody takes you seriously. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you, JD Vance. Trump's at 38%, and he's fucking draxing your bitch ass. None of the groypers are going to vote for you. None of the far-right young people are going to vote for you. And everybody else is just fleeing at 1,000 miles an hour. You're the smuggest man on the planet, bro. You're the smuggest man on the planet. And I'm just sickened. I'm just sickened by this guy. Sickened by how he looks, sickened by how he acts, sickened by what he says. Like, if I said that, people would come after me. Bro, you failed on the Epstein files. You totally flipped on that. You failed on being anti-war. You totally flipped on that. You failed, like, you know that you signed a deal with the devil when you agreed, I'm going to be Trump's VP. And now you're living that out. Now, as story after story comes out about how Trump is, doing another corrupt deal with another foreign government or another billionaire, and he's making, $500 million. He's stealing the Venezuelan oil. A new corruption story comes out. He can't say a fucking word about it. JD Vance has to shut the fuck up. Not allowed to talk about it. Another story comes out about how the stupid trade war and the tariffs are tanking the U.S. economy, leading to more unemployment, leading to more inflation. The farmers are getting fucked as Trump bails out Argentina to the tune of $40 billion and lets them send beef in here to undercut our cattle ranchers. And you can't say shit. You can't criticize even a little bit because you know you signed a deal with the devil, and you know his pathetic ass thinks he's going to be able to coast into being president. That's what he thinks. That's what JD Vance thinks. He thinks, hey, look, I signed up to be part of MAGA. I signed up to be, one of the figureheads of Trumpism, and I might end up fuck around and get elected. No, you won't, bitch. No, you won't. The only way he can get the presidency is if Trump dies, which is a distinct possibility just because he's old and frail. Okay? But nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. And he is a vapid, empty human being. JD Vance is. There is nobody more empty and vapid than JD Vance. Why did you change your name like 3 or 4 times? Who does that? Who changes their name 3 or 4 times? What is that? Nobody knows who you really are. And clearly nobody knows what you actually believe. You don't even know what you fucking believe in. You don't even know. Who's an adult convert to a religion? Only the weirdest freaks are adult converts to religions. Okay? It's one thing, you're raised in the religion, you were taught that from when you were a kid, and you sign on, okay, that's fine. That happens a lot. He, as an adult, he goes, I'm a Catholic. Why? Because there's a bunch of right-wing freaks and weirdos online who signed up for Catholicism, so he did that to fit in. He's the asshole who goes to the group chat and goes, hey guys, what's the haps? Is everybody doing good? And then nobody fucking responds. That's JD Vance. That's who he is. So maybe one of these days he'll learn, but I won't hold my breath for that. So I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear from any right-winger. Like, look, it's funny, because I have very clear preferences of who I want in a Democratic primary, right? Like, there's a hierarchy, there's an order. There's, my favorite to my least favorite, right? But a guy like fucking JD Vance criticizes any fucking Democrat in the country. He comes after Gavin Newsom. I'm riding for Gavin. Like, I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from this pudgy eyeliner-wearing fuck. I don't want to hear it from this guy. There's not a single honest bone in his body. He believes in nothing. He knows he believes in nothing. He thinks he's going to coast into the White House. And do what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to represent fucking Wall Street. You're going to represent Silicon Valley. You're going to represent the AI assholes. You're going to represent Israel. What are you going to do? You're not going to do anything for the people. You're going to represent the fucking ghouls who got you there through all of their rank corruption. Because that's what it takes to get you somewhere, bitch. It's all the king's horses and all the king's men need to do everything they can to get you in any position of power because you're that unlikable. All right, guys, that's the show, man. I love you all very much. You guys know the deal. Everybody do me a big favor. Subscribe to the channel. You can also click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops. You can also support the show on Patreon. That's deeply appreciated because we're real independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser, never done an ad read or anything like that. You guys support the show from the ground up. You can also sign up for Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. And, of course, go sub to Corin's World so you can see the live Kyle and Corin episodes that we do. We're not back next week, but the week after we'll be back. Corin's on vacation. But, all right, guys, I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.